Today we're going to be talking about driver conditions. Robots don't drive these cars, people do. So it's super important to look after the driver, not just because we like to be nice, but its performance. Because it's not just about one lap. Sure, it is in qualifying, but not in a race. In a race, we need consistency, so we have to manage their fatigue. So there's multiple ways we do that, and there's some rules, which is really good that it's actually a rule, it's not just an option for a team. Other categories around the world make it a bit more optional. In supercars, it's pretty strict. So what I've got here is a carbon monoxide filter, not carbon dioxide. So carbon monoxide is a poisonous gas. You don't want to breathe it in. So we filter the air that comes in through the windows and we pump it direct into the driver's helmet so they're getting clean air all the time to breathe. At every single event, no matter what, whenever they're driving this car, they're getting clean air. At really hot events, we might also cool the air. So then they'll get cooled and filtered air direct to their helmet. So that's making sure they're breathing the cool air, but that's not enough to keep them cool. They also wear what's called a cool suit. So it's a tight garment, sort of like your compression gear you might wear, and it's got tubes running across it where we'll pump cooled water. So to do that, we've got a cool box. There's various types of cool boxes in the world. The two main ones that you'll see in supercars is your dry ice cool box. So that's actually carbon dioxide. Remember I said that before, carbon dioxide, not carbon monoxide. So that dry ice is super cold. We'll use that stored energy to cool the water that we then circulate around the driver, or we have electric ones which work exactly like your fridge at home, your air conditioning. They use a refrigeration cycle. So it's really important to keep the drivers cool. The rule book says carbon monoxide filter all the time, but the driver cooling, you don't have to do all the time. So that's, if the ambient conditions where you're racing is above a certain amount, then you have to do it. So it's really important that we're circulating air through the cockpit. So to run through the conditions the drivers are in. So cabin temperature, it's about anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees hotter than the ambient. So if it's a 30-degree day, it's over 50 degrees in there. And they're not in shorts and t-shirts. So they've got fireproof underwear. They might have the cool suit on. They've got a multi-layer suit over the top. They've got a balaclava over their head. They've got their helmet. They've got gloves. They've got boots. It's super hot, so you do have to look after them. It's a way to make sure that they're getting out of the car fine to back up. They're performing at their best. We said before about fatigue. You can directly correlate if you're not looking after them in the car and managing that fatigue, their lap times are inconsistent, they're making mistakes, they might even be crashing the car. So it's critical. I can't say it enough that we do need to look after the drivers. So cool suit, we go to Darwin, it's always hot. You have to wear one in Darwin, so that's a bit of a no-brainer. Then you might go to somewhere like Winton, it's always cold and miserable. Thanks guys. Some drivers still wear them because once again, even if it's 15 degrees outside, it still might be 35, 40 degrees inside the cockpit, let alone with all those extra layers they've got on them. The good thing with some of the equipment, we talked about weight before, minimum weights of the car. If you've got enough of that ballast, sometimes you can throw the useless lead out and exchange it for a cool suit so that the driver can wear it all the time, so we can maintain their peak physical condition. Drink bottle. So one of the coolest sports, just like with the cyclists, so the drivers have an onboard drink canister in there. In the long races, we'll actually refill that during the stops so that they never run out. So they're pretty fortunate. There's not a lot of sports out there where they're actually carrying their drink with them. Your tennis players, your footy players, they have to stop to have a drink, whereas the drivers, they're drinking consistently every lap, maintaining that hydration. Once again, it's related to fatigue, to mistakes, to performance. That's all we have time for today with driver conditioning and fatigue management. See you next time.